Israeli forces launch first ground assault on Deir al-Balah in central Gaza. According to the Associated Press, Israeli forces have pushed into parts of the central Gaza city of Deir al-Balah for the first time in the 21-month war. The ground assault, which began with evacuation orders and was followed by tank incursions, targets an area previously considered a relative haven, now crowded with tens of thousands of displaced Palestinians. The military operation has prompted further displacement and raised alarm among residents and international observers about the shrinking safe zones in the territory. WHO says its Gaza facilities were attacked and staff detained by Israeli forces. According to Reuters, the World Health Organization reported its staff residence in Deir al-Balah was attacked and its main warehouse damaged amid the new Israeli offensive. The WHO stated Israeli military forces entered its premises, detained staff and family members at gunpoint, and stripped and interrogated them. The UN agency condemned the actions, stating its operational presence is now compromised and crippling efforts to sustain Gaza's collapsing health system, while demanding the release of one staff member still in detention. Gaza Ministry reports 10 starvation deaths in 24 hours as famine deepens. According to the BBC, Gaza's health ministry reported that 10 more people have died from starvation and malnutrition in the last 24 hours, bringing the total death toll from hunger to 111. The ministry stated that in recent days, 101 people, including 80 children, have died from malnutrition-related causes. The UN World Food Programme has described new and astonishing levels of desperation, with aid agencies warning that a full-blown famine is taking hold across the Strip. 28 nations, including UK and France, condemn Israel's Gaza aid delivery model. According to the Associated Press, a coalition of 28 countries, including key Israeli allies like the United Kingdom and France, issued a joint statement condemning the inhumane killing of civilians seeking aid in Gaza. The statement sharply criticized the Israeli government's aid delivery model as dangerous and a cause of instability. The group called for an immediate change in approach to alleviate the severe humanitarian crisis and protect civilian lives during aid distribution operations. Russia launches major aerial attack on Kyiv ahead of Western defense talks. According to the Associated Press, Russia launched a significant aerial assault on Kyiv, hours before Western defense leaders were scheduled to hold a virtual meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group. The talks, led by the UK and Germany and attended by US and NATO officials, are focused on accelerating weapons deliveries to Ukraine. The timing of the barrage is seen as a message of defiance from Moscow as Kyiv's allies coordinate further military support. Thousands protest in Kyiv over law seen as weakening anti-corruption bodies. According to The Guardian, thousands of protesters gathered in Kyiv to denounce a new law signed by President Zelensky that critics argue undermines the independence of Ukraine's anti-corruption agencies. The demonstrations reflect deep public concern that the legislation could roll back progress on good governance, a key condition for receiving ongoing financial and military aid from Western partners. The protests highlight internal political tensions as the country continues to fight against the Russian invasion. US and Japan finalize major trade deal with 15% reciprocal tariff. According to Bloomberg, the United States and Japan have finalized a major trade agreement, setting a 15% reciprocal tariff on Japanese goods, down from a previously threatened 25%. President Trump announced the deal includes a $550 billion investment pledge from Japan into the U.S. The agreement will also open Japan's markets to American exports, including cars, trucks, and certain agricultural products, resolving a significant point of economic friction between the two allied nations. U.S. announces new trade framework with the Philippines imposing a 19% tariff. According to Reuters, the U.S. has reached a new trade agreement with the Philippines following a White House meeting between President Trump and President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. The framework will impose a 19% tariff on goods imported from the Philippines. In return, the U.S. will reportedly face no tariffs on its exports to the country. The deal aims to strengthen economic and security ties between the two nations amid shifting geopolitical dynamics in the Indo-Pacific region. ADB cuts Asia growth forecast, citing U.S. tariff and trade uncertainty. According to Reuters, the Asian Development Bank has lowered its 2025 growth forecast for developing Asia to 4.7% from 4.9%, citing higher U.S. tariffs and trade uncertainty as key risks. The bank's latest outlook states that ongoing trade tensions, supply chain disruptions, and geopolitical factors are expected to weaken domestic demand across the region. Southeast Asia is projected to see the most significant slowdown, according to the report. UK regulator moves to tackle Apple and Google mobile platform dominance. According to The Times, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority, CMA, has proposed designating Apple and Google with strategic market status to address their duopoly over mobile ecosystems. The regulator cited concerns including high commission fees and restrictive App Store rules that limit choice and stifle innovation for UK developers and consumers. The move could lead to significant changes, such as allowing alternative payment systems and improving interoperability for services like digital wallets. U.S. stocks mixed as General Motors warns of significant tariff impact on profit. According to the New York Times, U.S. stock markets showed mixed results as investors weighed strong tech performance against warnings from the industrial sector. While the S&P 500 hovered near record highs, shares in General Motors fell over 5% after the automaker reported it expects U.S. tariffs to reduce its 2025 profits by as much as $5 billion. The report highlights the tangible financial impact of trade policy on major corporations, creating uncertainty for investors. Japan's Nikkei index soars to 12-month high after U.S. trade deal announced. According to Bloomberg, Japan's Nikkei 225 index surged 3.7% to a 12-month high in its best single-day performance since April. The powerful rally was a direct response to the announcement of a comprehensive trade agreement with the United States, which eased investor concerns about a potential tariff war. Shares in major Japanese automakers, such as Toyota and Subaru, led the gains on news that the threatened 25% U.S. auto tariff was averted. UK's FTSE 100 reaches record high fueled by US-Japan trade deal optimism. According to Reuters, London's FTSE 100 index climbed to a new record high on Wednesday, with market sentiment lifted by the trade agreement finalized between the United States and Japan. The positive momentum reflects investor optimism that the deal could pave the way for resolving other global trade disputes. European stocks broadly rebounded, driven by hopes that similar agreements could be reached with the European Union and other key trading partners. UniCredit reports record quarterly profit and raises full-year outlook. According to Bloomberg, Italian banking group UniCredit reported a record-breaking quarterly net profit of €3.3 billion, significantly beating analyst expectations. Following the strong performance, the bank raised its full-year profit outlook and announced plans for substantial shareholder distributions. The robust results from one of Europe's largest lenders provided a significant boost of confidence to the continent's banking sector amid ongoing economic and geopolitical uncertainty. U.S. Nuclear Weapons Agency breached in global Microsoft SharePoint hack. According to Reuters, the U.S. National Nuclear Security Administration, NNSA, was among more than 100 organizations worldwide compromised in a cyberattack exploiting flaws in Microsoft's SharePoint software. The NNSA is responsible for the U.S. nuclear weapons stockpile. While sources stated no sensitive or classified information was compromised, the breach of a top national security agency has intensified scrutiny of Microsoft's security culture and the vulnerability of critical government infrastructure. Microsoft attributes global SharePoint hack to Chinese state-sponsored actors. According to Bloomberg, Microsoft has attributed the sweeping global cyberattack on its SharePoint software to 3 distinct hacking groups linked to the Chinese state. The company acknowledged that hackers exploited vulnerabilities that were not fully mitigated by initial security patches. The attribution adds a significant geopolitical dimension to the incident, escalating tensions between Washington and Beijing. The Chinese government has denied any involvement in the attacks. Alibaba releases advanced open-source AI model to compete in code generation. According to Reuters, Chinese technology giant Alibaba has launched a new, advanced open-source artificial intelligence model designed specifically for writing software code. The move is a strategic effort to compete with similar platforms from Western rivals like OpenAI and Google. By making the powerful tool freely available, Alibaba aims to attract developers to its cloud computing platform and build a significant user base in the rapidly growing AI development market. PayPal to integrate with India's UPI for new cross-border payment platform. According to Reuters, PayPal is set to launch a new cross-border payment platform that will integrate with India's hugely popular Unified Payments Interface, UPI. This strategic move will allow the global fintech company to tap into India's vast digital payments ecosystem, which is dominated by the state-backed instant payment system. The integration signals a shift by Western tech firms to collaborate with, rather than compete against, India's successful digital public infrastructure.